I know you would love to get paid without having to work 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 plus hours a week. And I help people like you do this, but one thing stops so many people. And I'm going to talk about that in today's video. And I'm going to give you a powerful example based on a conversation I had recently, which will help you unlock all of this stuff. So I recently had this conversation, right? And this was an individual who was talking about just some of the stuff I've been doing. They appreciate the stuff I've been doing. They've seen and they know about some of the courses and digital products I've created and just how I'm delivering value in the marketplace. And it's interesting because as this conversation unfolded, the person was basically saying that, look, you know what? They see some of the stuff I'm doing and they obviously like what I'm doing and they want to do certain stuff. And the problem in their mind that they had was they were basically saying to me that, look, when they think about some of the stuff they want to do, it's similar to the stuff that I'm doing. And they basically don't want to feel like they're copying me. Now, it's funny because many people in this scenario would turn around and be like, they'd get angry like, oh, like, don't do that. Why are you going to copy me? This is clearly like one of the reasons why the person may have those sorts of thoughts and ideas. And this is why I always base my business principles based on the Bible, because those are the principles which will give you the best opportunity to prosper, to succeed, to win, because God wins at everything that he does. So one of the things, this isn't the point I'm going to make in today's video, but I'm just going to mention it briefly. One of the passages I love to talk about a lot of the time is 1 Corinthians chapter 11 verse 1, where Paul says, follow after me as I follow after Christ, right? And his point is, look, copy me as I'm copying Christ. Why is that so significant? Because Christ is the best. Christ is the model. So when Paul copies Christ, if he's copying the model, if he's doing the right stuff, he's going to get the right results. And if someone is following Paul, who's following Christ, let me even draw it, right? I didn't plan to do this, but think about it like this, right? Let's say this is Christ, and then we've got Paul here walking down this pathway to follow Christ, and he's saying, look, you come behind me and you follow as well, right? Christ is here in the best position. If Paul is following Christ, he's going to get to the best position, and if we're following Paul, who's following Christ, we're all going to be in the best position. This is what we call, like this, if you look at what's actually happening here, this is what we look at, this is what you call a good system. Most people don't follow good systems, and that's why they don't get good results. And just before I started recording this, I was thinking about like the big problem that so many people have with something like this is because, and I'll get back to the conversation, right, that I was explaining before. The reason most people have problems here, I was thinking about this, is it has to just come back to school. Because in school, you are told that copying is bad. If you copy someone on a test, you fail. But the real world isn't necessarily like this. The real world is completely different. In the real world, there are systems which God has set up. Let's just call them natural laws, right? Which those natural laws anyway are governed by spiritual laws. You follow those systems and you get the result. So let me give you an example. A system is like gravity. I was reading in this book the other day, right? Gravity is a system. Gravity is a system that God has created, that if you are a certain amount of force, gravity, there's a force which will push you down to keep you on the ground, unless you exceed that force at a rapid pace and you can break through the force of gravity, right? That's a system. Now, I've explained all of that to go back to the story to help you understand what I said to this individual in the conversation. I turned around and basically was like, you know, like I was thinking about this the other day. I had just recorded a new product, right? And I was so excited about it. And one of the things that occurred into my mind was like, nobody can create this because I'm unique, I'm special, and I'm one of a kind. Like, even if somebody wanted to copy this course, it wouldn't be the same course because they are not me and I am not them. So one of the things I said in the conversation was, look, don't ever feel like copying me or doing something which is similar to me is a problem, because we're different. So even if we're doing the same thing, it's never going to come off the same way because we're unique, right? God has given us fingerprints to prove it, for us to remember every single day that we are one of a kind. There's nobody like us. And what that means, when we truly embrace who we are as individuals, regardless of what we're doing, we're never going to be the same as somebody else. And this leads me to a powerful example from the Bible, which I've been thinking about for months and months and months, and it's just like, it's so relevant here, right? If I was just like, Isaiah the prophet is a powerful prophet from the Old Testament. Many people know Isaiah, and more specifically, he's a prophet. He spoke things that God told him to say. And one of the most powerful prophecies that Isaiah gave was in Isaiah 7:14, where the prophet is saying, I'm going to give you a sign, where God is saying through the prophet, I'm going to give you a sign. The virgin will conceive and be with child, and you will call his name Emmanuel, right? Famous prophecy which so many Christians know today. And at the same time, I was thinking about another prophecy in the Old Testament which so many people know, which is in Micah chapter 5 verse 2, where it says, "Thou Bethlehem of Ephratah, even though you're small among the clans, the tribes of Judah, out of you, Bethlehem Judah, will come one that is going to be the ruler for me, whose goings forth, his activity is from old, even from everlasting." And this is a famous prophecy in the Bible, which is talking about the Messiah being born in the city of Bethlehem. So when the wise men came from the east to see Jesus, and they ended up at King Herod's palace, and they're like, "Where is he?" Herod gets described and says, "Where is Jesus going to be born?" He goes back to Micah chapter 5 verse 2. Why am I talking about Isaiah and why am I talking about Micah? Most people don't know this. When you think about how the Old Testament is arranged, it's not arranged in necessarily chronological order. But the powerful thing is, Isaiah and Micah both had powerful prophecies from God, and they were both active, they were both working in the same time period. And this is an example, one of many examples that I think about from time to time, when I think about people thinking, "No, I can't do this because it looks like somebody else's." No, God can have two people working at the same time who are both doing powerful things, both prophesying in a powerful way, doing totally different things. And we should be in the best place for this as Christians, because we don't have competition. We have teammates. I don't look at a brother or a sister in Christ. I don't even look at anybody for that matter, right? Whether you're a Christian or not a Christian, as competition, because I know I'm in a competition of one. If I'm just myself, if you are just yourself, you have no competition. It doesn't matter how similar somebody else looks to you. God has created you in a unique way, with a unique set of skills, hobbies, expertise, which when you fully go into that, the more and more you embrace that, the more you will separate yourself from other people, and the more the people that God desires you to reach will start to come towards you. And that's the key that unlocks everything. So don't feel like, you know what, doing something similar to somebody else is wrong. Be the person that God desires you to be, and that will present itself in a powerful way, which will allow you to affect the people that you are supposed to affect. I pray this video blesses you, and until next time, go win.